Tired of the mainstream media spin? Want the truth? Loud, clear, and unapologetically conservative? Seth's Conservative Podcast Show is your new Sunday night destination. Tune in at 7 p.m. every Sunday on Rewind the Indie for bold opinions, hot takes, and real talk that cuts through the noise. Politics, culture, common sense. If you're ready for a show that stands for faith, freedom, and the American way, this is it. Seth's Conservative Podcast Show. Sundays at 7. Only on Rewind the Indie. Be there. Be misinformed.
Welcome to the Line Before podcast. How are you doing tonight, Tracy?
Doing all right, man. I'd like to welcome everybody to we just literally come up with this. The Line Before mini cast pre-show. So it's just kind of a middle of the week, get your fix type thing. You promote what's coming up on Sunday, really.
Keep you motivated, get your week finished, man, and enjoy the
Yeah,
weekend.
man. Well, I mean, it's hump day for us right now. I mean, it's to push you through the rest of the week.
Definitely, man. And where can you find the Line Before podcast at?
Okay, you could catch us on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, and Rewind Indie. Sundays at 7. Every Sunday at 7 on Rewind Indie. So just keep a lookout for Facebook and TikTok and Spotify and YouTube and Podbean and all those other ones because we try to put one out in the middle of the week, but we'll put one out anytime.
I mean, we put one out Monday, man.
Yeah. Well, this is a mini cast, so we're trying to keep it pretty light, pretty low, pretty quick. The one we did the other day was 40 some minutes. So
Yeah. That's for ear candy, man.
that's right. That's right. Exactly. Ear candy. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Justin Perkins. He came up with that. Talk
Nice.
Junkie.
Good
Yeah,
deal.
that's his podcast, Talk Junkie. He's a good dude, man.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yes, sir, man. I know you got a story with the dumbest criminals.
Listen, let's get right into this because this is welcome to Dumb Crook News. We need to find some like news music to put on. So, but I'm fascinated with these little stories about these guys who really don't think their crimes through, and some of them are just definitely some of the funniest stuff you ever heard. This story in particular here says Portland police got more than they bargained for during a routine traffic stop Tuesday night, uncovering a stolen car, cash, a loaded revolver, and a bag labeled, and I quote, definitely not a bag full of drugs, unquote, which of course was full of drugs. There was drugs inside. Officers found fentanyl, meth, totaling 10 grams, resulting in mixed charges. So if you want to run fentanyl and meth, definitely don't put it in a bag that says definitely not a bag full of drugs. That's like a red flag. There's definitely drugs.
Could you imagine being the cop and seeing that?
Oh my gosh. I mean, as soon as they saw it, it was like, oh, we got to check into that. So, but another one says suspect steals deputy's cruiser in hilariously bold warning. Marion County man made good on his promise when he told a responding deputy, you better have your doors locked. I like to steal cars. Moments later, he hopped into the deputy's cruiser and took off, kicking off a chase through the county. The joyride ended with a pit maneuver and the suspect in handcuffs, proving that he wasn't bluffing about his car stealing tendencies. Deputies shared the incident, reminding everyone that some warnings should just be taken very seriously. Oh, hey, you better lock your doors because I promise you I'm about to steal your car.
That's crazy, man.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. I mean, that's classic right there, buddy. So, but yeah, that's you get more of that on Rewind Indie Sunday nights at 7. We'll do a few more of those. And we also have a this day in history.
Oh yeah,
'Cause that's a little fun fact stuff that goes on. But
that's a cool segment too.
That is a cool segment. Especially if I, we can find some stuff to elaborate on that day in history.
Definitely, man. Definitely. So I got a UFO story for us, man. This was in Tazewell, Tennessee, and this was February the 24th of 2024. At 3:35 a.m., I observed a bright light or light cluster in the sky to the east about 15 degrees from the horizon. At first, I thought it was a star or a star cluster. Then it got brighter, so I thought it may be an approaching airplane. It continued to get brighter, and then suddenly there was a second, smaller light. The shot were injected from the initial light. The second light was smaller, did a loop to the south to the first object, then returned to the first object. Once it had returned from both, objects disappeared. There were no clouds, no storms, no sounds.
I get the no sound thing. I've told you my story several times about the one I saw that made absolutely no sound, and it was less than 200 feet from me. Um, it's it's an odd thing to actually see and it not make a sound. But these reports are coming out more and more. I don't know if people are just noticing it more or they're getting more exposure. Back just 10 years ago, 15 years ago, if you told somebody you saw a UFO, then you're crazy. And it kind of pushed these reports to the back because nobody wanted to tell their story. And now it seems to be a little more open to, people seeing stuff. And it's not just UFOs, it's Bigfoot, just the same, back 10, 15, 20 years ago, if you said, hey, man, I seen this big 8-foot hairy creature, walking through the woods, they'd say, well, you're nuts. Where it's a little more accepted now. So, and I think that's why we're getting so many reports because people aren't as afraid to tell, hey, this is what I saw. And in my case, when I saw what I saw, and I've said it 100 times, just because I saw a UFO doesn't mean it come from outer space. I mean, it could have been one of our own. I just never seen anything like that before because the definition of a UFO is unidentified flying object, not unidentified flying object from outer space. So
Definitely, man. Yeah, there's a lot of UFO sightings for sure, man. And people are definitely seeing something. They're not making it up.
no, and I mean, just on a night like tonight, I mean, it's pretty clear. Just go outside for 10 minutes and look up in the sky. You'd be surprised at what you see.
That's what Junebug says, man. He always said people aren't seeing UFOs because they're not looking up.
That's true. That's if it's not directly in your field of vision, man. And I mean, like me, I wear a hat. If I don't directly look up, I don't see anything. You know, but yeah, these reports are coming to the forefront now because I think the stigmatism of people being crazy is kind of open.
Going down.
It's getting broader now, and people don't think you're as crazy as they did 20 years ago.
Well, we had the government. The government is admitting that they've caught them on camera.
Listen, that's definitely a story for Junebug, for declassification and all that stuff, where they declassified all these UFO. I don't know if they'd be reports, but from the government. But when they declassified them and released them, they still had half of them blacked out to where you couldn't even read, the report. So yeah, but that's definitely a Junebug thing. He'd probably be all over that.
Yeah, that's what Trump is actually talking about, releasing the UFO files.
Uh, we'll wait and see because I've heard this way too many times before.
He was supposed to do that last time too.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It's they all say they're going to do it, but and man, I want to say it was Jimmy Carter when he was president said he saw a UFO.
It was, yep.
Yeah. So, we have the governor of Arizona witnessing the Arizona lights several years ago. And at first, he denied, I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything. And then few months later, he come out and said, okay, yeah, I saw it. I just didn't want to tell people that I saw it because, again, that stigmatism of, oh, you're crazy, and now you're in an official. Now your position is going to be questioned now. So they're out there. Something's out there. I don't know what's out there. I don't know if they're little green men from Mars, but there's something out there.
Yeah, people are definitely seeing something.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Well, including ourselves, we've seen some UFOs as well.
Yeah, and I always heard, people say, "Well, I saw this or I saw that," and I didn't really foo-foo it, but I was just like, "Well, if they're there, I would really like to see one, just so I can say, okay, I know what you're talking about." And then one night it happened. So
Yeah, man. And we got some stuff coming up in the show this Sunday, man. If you want to tell
I,
people about that, and next Sunday as well.
yeah, this coming Sunday we're going to do some deranged Easter stories. It's basically if Halloween and Easter had a baby, these are the stories you're going to get. So, and then on top of that, we got some more of the uh, D. What was that word I told y'all to watch out for? The uh,
Extinction.
de extinction stories that are coming up with these. Last week we did the dire wolf, and now they're talking about woolly mammoths and everything else. We're going to bring that to you in 2 weeks. On the 27th, we are going to have two serial killer investigators. They're going to come on and tell their stories. Very interesting stories. I know both of these ladies personally, and they're pretty good at what they do. And then hopefully, a few shows after that, we're going to get ghost hunter extraordinaire Joe Atkins on. He don't know that yet, but uh, and in future shows we're going to try to get Mr. Haunted, Jimmy Petanino. He's written a book. In fact, my book is on the way. I expect it tomorrow. But get him on to talk about his book and his experiences with ghost hunting, and he was part of the Warrens. If anybody knows anything about exorcisms, he was mixed up with those folks doing exorcisms. It's all in that book. And I expect mine tomorrow. So as soon as I get it, I'm going to be reading it. Hopefully one day we'll get Junebug on to come in and start talking about declassified UFOs. So got a lot of really cool stuff coming up. We're putting it all together, and just remember, 7 o'clock Sundays, Rewind Indy. That's where you catch us. If you missed that, you can always catch the shows, on Facebook and YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, TikTok. We're everywhere right now. So give us a listen, give us a like, give us a share, give us whatever you can give us, we'll take. So hopefully that we'll get this thing taken off.
Definitely, man, and it is picking up for sure.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. I'm still shocked. And once I think about it, I'm like, just for one show that we've done, the amount of listeners that we had for the one show was just, I was shocked.
And the Facebook numbers as well.
Yeah, all we can do is, go up from here, I guess.
Definitely, man. And here's an ad from the radio station we're on, Rewinding.
Next Conservative Podcast Show is your new Sunday night destination. Tune in at 7 p.m. every Sunday on Rewind Indy for bold opinions, hot takes, and real talk that cuts through the noise. Politics, culture, common sense. If you're ready for a show that stands for faith, freedom, and the American way, this is it. Seth's Conservative Podcast Show. Sundays at 7, only on Rewind Indy. Be there or be misinformed.
And everybody have a good night and God bless.